stars shining bright above you.
Hi Dad, happy birthday. David asked me what we should get you for your 80th birthday, and I couldn't think of what to get the man who can buy himself anything he wants. So my thought was to get you something that you could watch over and over from everybody that loves you. So my thinking was some of the favorite memories that everybody has of you and of Mom. I've been gathering my own thoughts a little bit. My thoughts take me back to North Syracuse, because when I have dreams and I'm looking for a safe place to go, my dreams take me to North Syracuse. I remember you teaching me how to ride a bike. I remember the family trips we had and climbing Blue Mountain and going to Whiteface Mountain and taking the ski lift up to the top. And I remember when you made my bike into a Surrey with the fringe on top for the rodeo, and I was in the contest there. And I remember when you and Mom would set up for the rodeo the night before. That was always my favorite part, feeling like we were a part of something. And I think my favorite memories of North Syracuse are the backyard softball games that we would have after dinner, and all the kids in the neighborhood would get together and we would play softball until it got dark, and that is a very sweet memory for me. I loved that. I loved when we would walk Christmas night around the neighborhood and see the lights, and when we would go to New Jersey and spend time at the beach, and when we went to Martha's Vineyard and everybody, Aunt Jean and all the kids piled into that car, that station wagon, and we rode on the ground all the way to Massachusetts and to that ferry. That was those were fun times with all of our cousins. And with Aunt Jean, I miss her. And I love her. She's kind of like a second mom in some ways. And I remember how silly the two of them, Mom and Aunt Jean, would get. Especially stuffing turkeys.
Probably more than anything, the thing that I need to express is absolute gratitude for all that you've meant to me and to my family in our times of difficulty, being there in our times of triumph and times of tenderness. In thinking back, I've had memories of badminton games in the backyard, working with you in sales, experiences on holidays, and more recently, the experience of being in the ICU and remembering to see you come in a difficult time, and the feeling of peace that came, knowing that kids and Cindy would be taken care of short term, and that somebody there to show concern and love for them from within the immediate family. You've always been there for most everything that was significant in our lives, for the birth and blessing of the kids, the holidays, fishing off the pier of your ironic. I would think of anybody who would be a misfit in the family, somebody like myself who isn't drawn to water or is afraid of water and can't swim. But you've always been a good experience for the kids and for me. Grateful for the times that you've been generous and supportive in our struggles. It is ironic to look back now on 80 years for you and for us in our 50s to see how much collective experience we have together and to realize how much your face has been part of a lot of our memories. The kids talk about you and Grandma sleeping on the floors of our houses, which always seem to be colder than normal.
So this is your 80th birthday, 8 decades. That's plenty of time to accomplish all the things you want out of life. And therein lies the age-old question of how do we measure a life? In my opinion, I really think that God measures us more in the memories that we leave to our children, and those that survive to our children's children, our legacy. So I want to share with you some of the memories I have. In the 60s, I just became aware of myself and surroundings, and really the first place I remember was Rogers Lane. I remember one Saturday I was helping you. You were putting up an antenna on the roof, and I was holding the ladder, and then Ricky West came cruising by. You were putting up an antenna that was supposed to be for a two-way radio so we could talk to people all over the world. But Rick West said, "Hey, that looks like a color TV antenna to me." And I remember he got shooed away pretty quickly. But I was always pretty accepting and didn't think anything of it. But I do remember that Christmas when we opened up that big, huge gift, and it was a color TV, and we saw all our cartoons in color for the first time. And I will tell you that that Christmas was probably the most, euphoric, amazing Christmas of my life. And we all try and make it special, but that's the one that really struck my chord. I remember you went to all my Little League baseball games and all that stuff, and even helped me settle out disputes with Bill Gedicke and that sort of thing. But the one experience from that house that I remember the most that you and I did was a Mother's Day, and we wanted to warm up the house for Mom. First thing in the morning, so we decided to light a fire in the fireplace, and I twisted up the paper and built the fire and lit it up and went into the kitchen where we were making breakfast, and all of a sudden we smelled smoke because I forgot to open the flue. So the house is filling up with smoke. Mom smelled it in the bedroom and came running out in a panic. So I guess all our efforts kind of backfired on us on that morning, but the point of that experience was that we were, trying to go the extra mile to make things special. And that's what I remember about you. That, even vacations, you went to the effort of dragging the boat down there and the whole thing so everybody could have, some extra fun. And, I always appreciated that part of you. You and Mom went up to Dexter and bought that house up there on Chameau Bay. That was a great place, and it was a wonderful place for us it was 4th of July mainly. That's when I brought my crew up, and the badminton games and the boat rides, fishing, golf, great dinners, card games, raising little kids. They were really sweet and precious times to us. In the 90s came your retirement, and poof, off to the Outer Banks, which was kind of a shock to Cindy and I. It was like all of a sudden you were gone. But be that as it may, we got past it and went down there, and we came to realize what a truly amazing place the Outer Banks is. And it's just perfect for you. You're surrounded by water, and you could even play Coast Guard with the auxiliary and everything else. So you were in heaven, and it really made for a perfect vacation for us. And I thought Island Heights had everything we ever wanted. And at that same time in my life, I experienced some great changes. Frankly, changes that I don't wish on anybody else. But I will tell you that through all of that, that you and Mom were real supportive of me. I could call you anytime, and it was wonderful to know that. And you were meant a lot to me when you said you were proud of me. Nothing substantiates a man more than his dad telling him he's proud of him. So we made it through that time, and I appreciate your help. We lost Mom. And that was a time that we got a little closer. We were able to help each other out a little bit there. But true to form, you were always determined to find a way out of your dilemmas. And yours was the sudden solitude of not having a partner. And you solved you solved that problem by finding your future in Maggie, and that's a wonderful thing. And I'm glad you guys are happy. But anyway, those are some of my memories, fond ones.
We've been asked to talk a little bit about some of our favorite memories with you, and those we had. And I've had a number of them that probably haven't talked about in a long time because it's been a while since we've seen you. But one of my favorite memories is from when I was little, and you may not remember it, but you were still working for NFIB, I think. You were living in Baldwinsville, and I believe we were living in Oswego at the time. And I had seen some commercials for Donkey Kong Crunch cereal. Donkey Kong was a new video game that had been out then, and they made a cereal after it. And you were coming to visit us. I think Grandma was not coming with you. I think you were just going to be stopping by at the end of a business trip that you'd been on. And you had asked me either directly on the telephone or through my mother what it was that I wanted you to bring me. And I shouted to you enthusiastically that I wanted you to bring Donkey Kong Crunch, the cereal. So I waited in great anticipation for your arrival, and when you came, you didn't have Donkey Kong Crunch with you, but you had Pac-Man. Pac-Man cereal was out at that time too, with Pac-Man and the ghosts were the marshmallows. I don't know if you remember that, but you very excitedly brought me the cereal, and I was very excited to receive it, and that is one of my first memories with you, and that may be the only one that really comes to mind from when we were living in Oswego. Some other memories that I wanted to relate are obviously, Grandpa, one of the big things growing up was just you playing wiffle ball with us in badminton when we went to your house in Pillar Point. It was always something that Nathan and I looked forward to. You would be the pitcher and we would hit wiffle balls, and certain things counted for hits and singles and home runs. And badminton, I learned to play badminton from you. And I remember years later, after I'd learned the sport from you, I won some pretty heated matches at Scout Camp, and I attributed that success to those years learning badminton from you when we'd go visit you in the summer. Also, of course, fishing. Fishing is a key memory that we have with you, and I'm remembering one specific time there was where Nathan and I and you had gone out fishing not too far from your dock. And we seemed to hit on a school of large smallmouth bass that were very large. We caught a number of them that day. And we even went back the next day and caught a whole bunch too. And Nathan and I always looked forward to going fishing with you because it was the only real chance we had to go fishing growing up, and even since. I can't say that I've been fishing very many times since you left Buddha Point. Some other things, of course, were the you taking our family out to eat, whether it was at Ponderosa and Pizza Hut, and seeming to want to get your money's worth by making sure that we stuffed ourselves as full as we could. And maybe it was you even encouraging Nathan's life of crime by having him stuff as many extra pieces of pizza or chicken wings as he could into some brown paper bags that were in his backpack. But you always seem to encourage those eating contests with us. And I think I'm convinced now that it's because you wanted to make sure that you got your money's worth out of the meal. Of course, it was always nice to have you at Christmas, and we always looked forward to you being there at Christmas and sleeping there in the living room floor with Grandma right next to the tree. So those were some good memories. But also remember you two, Grandpa, taking at least Nathan and I, if not Alicia as well, out to Denny's once to kind of give us your life story and your history of what had gone on and what you felt like were your successes in life and how you got to where you were. I'm not sure that I remember anything you said in that breakfast that you did with us, but just your having done it left an impression on us and was important to us. Other than that, apart from that, Grandpa, I mean, you were a big part of our lives growing up, and we appreciated that. And for the time that you were in Pillar Point, we appreciated. And Baldwinsville, I don't really remember Baldwinsville that much. I do remember an instance where I think I drank somebody's coffee at your house, and that was the first and only time I had ever tried coffee. I remember you having some kind of fruit tree in the yard there, and I'm thinking it was a crab apple or an apple tree out there, and you had TV trays for the living room that I used to think it was so neat to eat on. But, you know, in recent years, Grandpa, it's just hit home how nice it was to have you and Grandma close during those years, and to have frequent access to you and have you there for just about all of my major events growing up as a child. I remember having my Grandma and Grandpa Feickert there in some kind of supporting or entertaining role, including coming to some of my basketball games. And even when you had moved down to North Carolina, I remember you, Grandma, insisting that you guys come up for my Eagle Scout ceremony, and that was important to me. And honestly, I've missed having access to you in the last several years, and I know that my children are the poorer for not having been able to really get to know who you are. We've missed you, Grandpa, and I can't thank you enough for the time and effort that you and Grandma spent growing up and allowing us to be close to you and to get to know you, because we didn't get to know Grandma and Grandpa Clark very well. They were always so far away in Idaho. To us, our grandparents were Grandma and Grandpa Feickert. And we love you. And happy birthday. I hope this is a happy one for you.
Happy birthday, Grandpa Feickert. Let's see, my favorite memories Grandpa Feickert was the one who taught me to play bluffers dice. And I love that part about him, that he loves to play games and that he's active and does fun things, and it makes it fun for all of us.
I was thinking about the fun times we had when you lived in Dexter and all the fishing trips that we took. How you taught me how to clean fish and taught me how to fish. I miss those serene sunsets right there on the lake and all the smallmouth bass that we caught. More recently, we've loved going and visiting you and Grandma Mag.
I like the times when we went out and I got to be in that tuba thing and we went really fast.
On his boat?
The boat? Did you like going swimming? You were pretty good at jumping off the dock, huh? You went out in the deep. Carter, what do you...
Okay, and I really liked when Grandma Maggie made the slippers and we went swimming and I jumped off the deck and we got what's that called? Oh, catch crabs.
You got to catch crabs, huh?
On the deck.
Carter, what do you want to say to Grandpa?
That I like to catch the crabs. I like to catch crabs and fish, and I like to
You like to swim? You play with Grandma Maggie?
Remember when you ate all their tomatoes?
You ate all their tomatoes? Remember that?
When I ate all your tomatoes, and when we were swimming, and I went into the garden and I got tomatoes.
I wanted to tell you how much I love you and how much I've appreciated you in my life. When it comes to different memories, there's so many. You've been there since I was born, and I've heard the stories of you and Grandma taking care of Aaron and Nathan when I was born, and one of my earliest memories with you is my second birthday. You being there holding me while I was blowing out my candles, and I remember playing with you, and just you were such a loving figure in my life when I was a little kid. And some of my favorite memories were going to your home in the summer when we got to spend a week or two up there, and you came home on the weekends and it was fun, and we got to play with you in the lake. I just have really fond memories, and I really remember feeling really close to you and Grandma at that time. And I remember the memories I have of you when you would come home to our house for Christmas, and just being in awe of the two of you. You two were, I respected you both so much that all I could do sometimes was just stare and be extremely grateful that you were my grandparents. And I got a feeling of love and a feeling of generosity from you that I hope I've been able to implement in my life. You two have always been so generous, and you've always been so giving, and it's one of the traits I hope to fully develop from you. I just remember having so many fond memories of you during Christmas time, and it never being fully a perfect Christmas unless you guys were there. I also remember our trips to the Outer Banks when you moved to the Outer Banks, and how sad and excited I was that you were moving down there. And the times that we had down there were fun. You always made it fun going to the beach and the lighthouses and the different things. And I remember the memories I have of you are special to me. I remember when I was a senior in high school, you took me out shopping and you gave me $50 and told me to spend it on different things for school, and it was the first real time that I'd been given that freedom to be able to buy things like that. I just have so many fond memories. A lot of them do involve Grandma. And I've always felt so close to you and to her. And I know she's around us and with us. I've always felt so close to the both of you. I love you, Grandpa, and I'm so very thankful for your example and for all that you've done for us. You've created nothing but good memories, and you've taught me so many different lessons in my life.
Most of the memories I have of you guys are on Christmas, and a lot of them were when I was younger, when you guys lived up in Watertown. And I remember fishing off the lake, catching rock bass, just with a cheap little fishing pole that Grandma bought me. I also remember going deep sea fishing down in North Carolina, which was a lot of fun. And I don't know, it's difficult. For the most part, they're on Christmas, just good memories that we have of you and Grandma coming down from Watertown for Christmas, or up from North Carolina for Christmas. So those are the things that we I remember most of all.
Happy 80th birthday. That's a huge milestone in my book. Living 80 years. Here's a few stories that I can recollect over those years and everything. The first story I have is when we all went up to Thousand Islands and everything, and we were around the fire trying to start the fire. It was been raining all day long and everything, and Dad gets down there, gets the fire started a little bit going, and he's blowing and blowing on the thing. Then here you come in with this huge thing of gasoline, woof, all over, practically singeing Dad's eyebrows off. Then you get Grandma saying, "Rad!" starts yelling at you late at night in the middle of the thing. So we're trying to keep quiet, not trying to laugh and everything, because we know it was pretty serious. But then you come out with this dreaded look, like, "Oh geez," and then you go to Dad and said, "I'm sorry," but the fire got going though, and it was pretty warm then after that, once you get the fire going. So that was the first story I can recollect of that. Then the second story I remember is when we first get down to Outer Banks. We've been in the car for 12, 14 hours. I can't really remember how long the trip was.
It was a long time.
Yeah, it was a long trip though. So we all got out of the car. We were looking around like, "Oh wow, what a great house and everything." So Ryan, I, and Chris start snooping around a little bit. Chris steps into the pond, and it's like, "Oh great." Then you come down and you're like, "Oh geez, for crying out loud." and you're like, "God bless America," and everything, because Chris stepped in the fish pond, and that's probably the last thing you wanted to have to deal with, coming, seeing us and everything. But other than that, it's been great knowing you practically almost 80 years.
I've been thinking about some things that I wanted to thank you for. Some of my favorite memories of things is when growing up with you and Grandma, always coming out to our house every Christmas, and you'd be able to sleep under the Christmas bed, and we always come and bug you and wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning. We always come and bug you and Grandma every Christmas at 2 in the morning. You guys would sleep under the Christmas tree, and we'd be so excited to open a Christmas present, and we can hardly wait to open them. And Grandpa would kind of be a little angry with us because we wake him up and beat sleep. But it's some of my favorite memories. Also, another favorite memory of mine is when you and Grandma Feickert would come out every fall and send us money to buy school clothes, because times were really tough for us growing up back in New York. And also that you provided some money for me to be able to hear with some hearing aid. And those are some of the memories. Those two things in my life have really touched me and have brought profound meaning to me, and being able to help me to hear, and also help our family to be able to have some new clothes for school and get ready for the fall semester.
I just wanted to thank you so much for that, and for you and Grandma, and for setting a wonderful example into our life. And it really brought such great meaning and deep meaning to my heart, and being able to express enough gratitude for you. And thank you so much for setting a wonderful example, and also for coming out to visit Brian and I last year when we came home from our mission. And that was a wonderful experience to have you come and spend a few days with us before Thanksgiving last year. It was just really fun to be able to get reacquainted with you and being able to tell you about how our mission has impacted us in our lives. And thank you so much for being such a wonderful example, Grandpa, and I certainly love you.
My most fond memories of you. There was the time in Thousand Islands when we went camping. That was spectacular. That was a great time. You know, there's that photo of me catching that bass off the cliff there. That was fantastic. And then there was the time you almost set my dad on fire. That was probably even better. It was really fun. Your house down in North Carolina was always a blast. The last time I remember being able to go down there, you know, when I didn't have a summer job, I was really young. I remember going down, and me and Matt were fishing for crabs off the dock for, you know, a good 2 days, and we kept them all in a bucket. And we never bothered to put the bucket back in the ocean because Grandma said she was gonna cook us some crab. And then you got wind of that and told us that, you know, you don't cook dead crabs, you cook live ones. And you know, we were we were yelled at for that. We must have had a good 24 crabs in this pot that were just sitting out there doing nothing. And we ended up burying them in the yard. And then I remember our dog Megan digging up and rolling around in them and stinking like crazy for the rest of the trip. So that was, I mean, fond memories. I always remember looking through photo albums and seeing a kid sandwich. There's cushion, kid, and, you know, always loved playing Beat the Kid. Beat the Kid was fantastic. It even had a good name to it. That was always a blast. And, you know, I always remember you coming up on Christmases, and, you know, it was always a good time. I've always loved the game of Liar's Dice. I always tried to teach it to my friends, and they could just never get a hold of it. You know, their attention span is like this, and they never picked it up, and it was just like whatever. But I even have memories of Watertown. I remember not looking both ways as I crossed the street, and, you know, getting a spanking for that one 4th of July and not even seeing the fireworks. But I always enjoyed myself up there, you know, when Dad wasn't trying to drown me and all that. But happy 80th birthday. I hope you've, you know, I know you've led a good life. I hope you live for many more years, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime, hopefully maybe this Christmas. And thank you for, you know, in high school and early college when I didn't have a particular path set out, and when you called and we talked, and you weren't just checking in to make sure I was doing well, you were making sure I was on the right track, and you made sure I was making something of myself, and you weren't going to settle for anything less, and I appreciate that. It really helped. So thank you, Grandpa.
Memories that we have of you and of Grandma and growing up with you guys around. Just a couple of mine. My favorite ones are, first off, the many hours we spent playing on the sound with the volleyball. You would be in the water and we'd have to catch it in the air as we jumped off the dock. That was always a winner. I remember I was always afraid to put my feet on the bottom of the sound because of the crabs. They would get me. But I did grow out of that. I also loved whenever we went to visit you guys, the many hours we'd play Liar's Dice or Bluffer's Dice. And I mean, after all, you did teach me how to play cards. I am a renowned shuffler now, all because of you. Thank you. And you taught me how to play Rummy, Gin Rummy, and then Yeah, I mean, even to this day, whenever we see you, we still play Liar's Dice. It's a classic. With the same old matchsticks. Let's see. I remember Grandma. She would always have gummy bears. To this day, I still love gummy bears. And I think she helped out with that quite a bit. And whenever you guys would visit us, New York would be so excited. And especially when you guys would surprise us. I remember one Thanksgiving you did that. And for Christmas, you guys would stay at the house and we would wake up super early and we would just be sitting around you guys on the floor when you guys were sleeping in your sleeping bags to wake up because we wanted to open presents. And then you guys got so annoyed with it, you guys decided to go to a hotel after that, which was probably smart. But we loved it when you guys visited us and it was a lot of fun in New York.
The biggest memories, of course, are probably when you guys used to come every Christmas. And we would all sneak down the stairs while you slept by the presents, and we would just kind of gather around you and stare. Stare at the Christmas tree while you guys just slept. And I remember, especially when Grandma and you guys used to wake up and tell us all to go back to bed, that it was too early in the morning. So we would sneak back upstairs, and then about 10 minutes later, when you guys had fallen back to sleep, we'd sneak back down the stairs. I remember the year that you guys surprised us by coming up for Thanksgiving. It was the big talk. Everybody was like, there's somebody, a surprise guest coming for Thanksgiving. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And Melissa and I remember guessing you guys, and everybody told us that it wasn't you guys, but you surprised us. And I remember you guys coming in on Thanksgiving morning. I remember when we used to go down to visit you in North Carolina. I remember playing the ball game and the sound. That was probably my favorite. We try to play that now, jumping into pools. But it's not quite the same because, Grandpa, you're not standing in the water trying to throw the ball at us. I remember tubing. I still hold the world's underwater record for longest tube underwater. I remember how much fun we used to have doing that. And swimming in the morning. I also remember how we used to go to, whenever we go down there on vacation, we would go and see another lighthouse and we'd go tour somewhere. I remember going to the aquarium and going to a bunch of different stores down there that sold seashells and such. I remember this number of seashells that Grandma had. And I remember the last Christmas that you guys came before Grandma died. We used to go on walks every night, and then you guys were staying in mine and Melissa's room, and I remember that Grandma sat us down and she talked to us for a while and told us her stories, hoping that to help us remember her. Like we needed help, but it was still nice.
I decided I'd share a few favorite things from my childhood up until now. And the funny thing is, some of my favorite memories of you particularly aren't perhaps the perfect ones, or the ones where you look back and you think, wow, that's a great thing. But particularly when I was a kid, I think the greatest thing I could tell you of my memories of you and Grandma were when you guys would come for birthdays and when you would come for Christmases as well. But particularly in birthdays, I remember it was one of the only chances we had to go out to eat to dinner. And I remember one particular occasion where we went to Stacy's, I believe it was called, and somewhere around in New York, and you took us out there. And I'll never forget just the wad of cash that you take out, and you flip the bills and you pay for that. But that was always a fun memory. And also I think the favorite memories I have were just of going down to North Carolina and being able to go tubing with you on your boat, or also playing with you in the Sound, and especially Liar's Dice. Liar's Dice will always have a fond place in my heart, and hopefully you keep up with that. We expect a lot from you, Grandpa. You have to keep up that status there of playing Liar's Dice with us. I also will remember with particular fondness when we were in the car accident and you flew out and stayed with us, and I just remembered that being a sweet experience and such a time of turbulence for our family, that you were able to come in and assist us and bring a lot of peace to our family, and I'm especially grateful for that, for your example. I love you very much, Grandpa. I do remember once when you bore your testimony, and I think it's great to hear you bear your testimony. I know you have a great love for the Savior and for this work. I really admire you for that. And something else I wanted to oh, also I love your birthday cards, Grandpa. Your birthday cards always bring a particular place in my heart. I was going to mention to you something I'll also never forget, which is one of my favorite memories of you, just is when I was younger and we were driving, and we were in North Carolina, and you had a red pickup truck, I believe, and I was in the front seat there with you, and I was pretty curious about the door button you had there for the garage door. Thought it was fun to click, and I remember clicking it, and it happened to be when you were driving into the garage, and it landed straight halfway onto the pickup truck. I remember you weren't very pleased with me, but that was a great lesson for me. I don't think I'll ever commit that again, but I was really appreciative of that lesson, just because it's something I look back a lot on and just remember not to not to let my curiosity get the best of me. But yeah, I love the boat rides we've done together. Honestly, Grandpa, I miss the memories we have of you. I don't get to see you as often as I'd like, and it is not it's not easy, but you know, we love having you when you're around. And thank you again for coming out to see Leanne and I last year. We're really appreciative of that. But Grandpa, I hope you're enjoying yourself, that you continue to play golf. I'll remember that as well. You get up early to play golf when we were with you on vacation, or you do your push-ups or your exercises or things like that. And also, hope you continue to have a waterbed somewhere in your house, because those were fun memories as well, to go and jump on the waterbed and just have fun around there. It was always my favorite memories really of a childhood were with you and Grandma. Honestly, you guys brought a lot of joy to us as kids. You know, the presents you brought at Christmas, just being there, being with us. I mean, I'm sure other people have shared this memory as well, but I just remember waking up one Christmas morning where you and Grandma were on one of those sleeping mattresses, you know, in front of the Christmas tree, and we stared at the Christmas presents, of course, because we were excited about that, but we also just kind of watched you for hours, and you know, it's really neat to be able to know that I have a grandpa that you know, that really loves his grandchildren and really cares for them, and always has shown that.
Alright, fondest memories of you. Well, I remember you coming up for 2 of my football games, and I mean, you know, they weren't the best games ever, but I was just really happy that you came all the way up from North Carolina, you know, just to see me play. It meant a lot, you know. And you know, we always played liar's dice, which I enjoyed a lot, even though you would beat me every single time. And you know, it was just always great when you came up here. I loved it. And you know, another memory, I guess, is when me and my friend Corey went down to the Outer Banks, and you know, it was for about a week, you know, just to hang out with you and stuff like that, just to see you. And you know, we slept in the trailer that we called the man cave, and you know, we went on the beach with you, Dad, and Maggie, and you know, the waves were so big they were knocking us all over. And you know, that beach was just awesome. And you know, I remember, you know, we gladly waxed your car for you. And you know, we did a great job, I guess. And you know, just how we would jump off the dock and everything, and you know, into the water. It was just an awesome time whenever we went down there. And you know, hopefully you can come back up here, or you know, we can go back down there again, and you know, we can see you again real soon.
I'm not so small as you remember me. I've actually grown quite a bit. I'm now about 6'2", 195 pounds, pure muscle. Some of my favorite memories of you are playing liar's dice. It was always so fun to sit around the table with my brothers and sisters and play. And it's the time where I really got to know you the best, is your fun personality. And I also remember coming out to North Carolina for a couple of weeks a few years back, and I remember going to the beach and tubing with you. It was fun memories. And I also remember you coming out a couple months ago. It was a fun time where we had to spend and playing liar's dice and getting to know you better. I haven't known you as well as as my other grandparents or uncles and aunts, but it's always been nice to see you. And I'm always thankful to receive the money in the mail every birthday. It's always really nice to look forward to, and I'm grateful for that. Hey, happy birthday. But yeah, happy birthday, and we wish you guys the best.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, and hope to see you again soon.
We love you, and I hope that you have a wonderful 80th birthday.
Happy 80th birthday.
Happy 80th birthday. Love you and hope you have a great birthday. Hi, Grandpa.
Birthday, Grandpa. I love you very much. I hope you know all of us here have a deep love and respect for you. So, just again, I want to wish you a happy birthday, Grandpa. Love you very much and hope to continue to have great memories with you.
Happy birthday, Grandpa. Grandpa, I just want to tell you that I love you and I miss you, and I hope you have a happy birthday.
Happy 80th birthday. That is awesome. 80 years. I really hope I live that long. Happy 80th birthday, and I hope everything's well.
I'd like to say happy birthday. Thank you for being such a great grandfather and being so fun.
Hi, Grandpa. Happy birthday. I love you, and I hope you have a great birthday. Happy 80th.
Happy birthday, Grandpa! We love you!
We love you!
Grandpa, we really wish we could be with you on your birthday and share the wonderful memories with you. Day to
you! Happy birthday to you!
Happy birthday, dear Grandpa. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. We'll talk to you soon.
Love you, Grandpa. Bye.
Bye.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandpa. Birthday, great Grandpa Feickert. Happy birthday, Grandpa Feickert.
This opportunity to personally wish you a happy birthday, and pray it'll be a joyous occasion, and you may know that we love and care for you a great deal. But again, I want to wish you a happy birthday and express my personal gratitude and thanks and appreciation for everything you've done.
I was fortunate to have you as a dad, so I wish you a happy birthday and many, many more great memories. I love you, Dad.
Happy birthday. I want to tell you that I love you. You were a good dad. You're a good grandfather. You should be proud. I love you. Happy birthday.